a special feel, kind of customize it to the situation, which is really fun. I also have to apologize a little bit. I have a little bit of an injury, so if you see me kind of limping around, it's nothing to really worry about. I injured my ankle, so don't feel too bad about it. Actually, wait, if you hear, you can kind of hear it click. Hear that? Wait a minute. I'll get it. Now that everybody is awake and I have everyone's attention, we can begin properly. Perfect. Actually, before we begin, we have to determine tonight whether we're going to be showing you tricks or treats. Whether you get to live or die. Look at that dramatic tension. That was great. Here's what we have, a few of my business cards, mainly just because I like to advertise. But on the back of these is something very special. I'll spread them out like so. If you'd be so kind just to touch the back of any card you'd like, but that card will determine your fate. So choose carefully. That's the one you want? Would you like to change your mind? No. That's the one you want. Square everything together. Open your hand just like that. That'll be your destiny. Hold on to it just for a moment, because now we get to see whether you get, a trick. Or, another trick. Tricks. Or whether you get, some more tricks. Or, still a trick. Whether you get a treat. Oh, yes. And this little treat is for you. Perfect. So today, I am going to treat you, thank you. Treat you to a couple of different, like I said, routines I enjoy performing around the holidays. I do perform for a lot of family audiences, so some of them will be more family-oriented, some of them will be a little bit creepy. This one is a little bit of both. For centuries, mystics have used their elusive third eye to look into the future, to predict things unknown, to read people's minds. I have my third eye with me today, and it will help us to see something unknown. Would you hold it in your hand for me? Perfect. Right now, you're seeing into the future. Only a few moments, and it is telling me everyone here will see a card trick. Right now. I know. That's very ridiculous. I know, right? It's kind of a necessary thing in a package. A little pack of cards here. Shuffle. And let's get, let's see. Greg, you're kind of toward the back there. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of riffle my thumb down the edge here. You're going to call out stop wherever you stop. I will split the pack. I'll upjog a card. You remember what it is. For late audiences, I normally tell them that's what an upjog is. For you guys, you know that already. Ready? Set. Anytime you like. Stop. Right here. Give a little cut. Look away. Can you see what card we stopped at? Yes, sir. Yes. I'll give a little panoramic view. Everybody try to remember the number, the color, the suit. Lock it into memory. And most importantly, the eye. Perfect. Card case. Oh. I'm getting a color. Greg. It's black. Black in color? I know, it's creepy. It is also not a spade, but a club. I'm not getting the number though. I'm gonna have to take a closer look. A little closer look. Wait, listen. Can you hear that? I got my eye on the card. The first time, what was that number? 2. The 2. So we have the 2 of clubs. But that eye really can see into the future. It knew it the entire time. In the same vein as magic with playing cards here, I should bring up my cheat sheet too so I know where I'm at. That's perfect. I'd like to tell you a little story as well. About a gentleman And this is a story that magicians love because it's the type of gentleman that everybody loves to hate. Gentleman who spent a lot of time in Las Vegas. In fact, he was the most despicable kind of gentleman anybody would want to know. The kind of gentleman who, well, his three favorite things were women, booze, and gambling. In fact, he owned a little strip club on the Las Vegas Strip. So when he wasn't there, and he wasn't drinking, he was in the casinos. He wasn't a very lucky man, though. In fact, anytime he went out to the casinos, he very rarely won. He would win some, he would lose some, but never made any significant profit playing the games. Until one day he was down to his last two chips. Have a look at that, check that out.
Ooh.
Looks good, right?
Nice chip.
I know.
Oh.
Thank you. And one more for Phil. Have a look at that one if you would. Again, make sure it is specific. And one more thing that we need is, I already have the playing cards, so I don't really need this. This is perfect. Playing cards. Chips. This gentleman's name was Frank. Frank again was playing cards one day, down to his last two chips. Dealer said, ante up. That's all he had. And then he was dealt a few cards. But he died before the hand was complete. So in honor of poor Frank, all of his friends, all two of them that he had, took his last two chips and, as in the tradition, placed them over his eyes. Yes. I'll play the part of both Frank now and the dealer. As I deal through the cards, somebody just kind of call out stop anytime they'd like for them.
Stop.
Thank you so much. Let's say that this is the card that Frank was dealt that day. If he had just stayed alive, if he didn't have that fatal heart attack on the moment the fifth card was dealt, he might have been a winner. Unknown to Frank, he was dealt the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5 of hearts before he clutched his chest and keeled over. If he knew what that fifth card was, he would have turned over. It was great. Woo! So touching. Okay. I just need to let my eyes adjust to the light again. That's perfect. I learned a lot of magic from my grandfather. Before he passed away, he was actually in the service, in the Army. And I'm sure we have quite a few people here if you've been in the service. Yeah, military, Army, Navy, Air Force, fantastic. My grandfather, he was in the Air Force. And it's actually a very kind of a thrilling story. It's the only thrilling story I really have my entire life. My grandfather was a gunner. He was a Master Tech Sergeant in the Air Force. And he was a gunner for World War II. And he was flying over Germany, and plane was shot down. And this is, again, a true story. He came down. He was the only survivor. There was only 2 people in the plane, but he actually survived because he was in the tail end of the plane, and the plane went nose first. The other gentleman sadly passed away on impact. My grandfather, however, huddled into the little gunner section, and he managed to live, which is interesting. So that's why anytime I see these little guys in a toy shop or anywhere, it always reminds me of my grandfather, little Army guys. And it reminds me of, even though my grandfather lived through the whole incident, it reminds me of all the people who have served. Now, chances are, if you yourself have not served in the military, you have a friend or family member who has served. Whether, again, they be Air Force, Marine, Navy. So, right now I'd like to take a little moment of silence for our fallen soldiers and remember what they stood for. when my grandfather was traveling overseas, he went to a lot of different exotic places, one of which was Bermuda. One of his favorite places, actually, was Bermuda. And in Bermuda, he acquired this. It's not snake oil. It's a bit of water from the Bermuda Triangle. They really had nothing else to do on the ocean liner. Like little vials of water, play cards, drink. Kind of important you don't get it on yourself. Does anybody have any cash that I can borrow? A little loose change. Could be nickels, pennies, dimes, quarters. Quarter would be awesome. You do. Fantastic. And since this is yours, if you'd be so kind, you may mark the coin as well. Thank you so much. You can do initials, you can do happy face. What do we got? That's perfect. Here we go. Take back the marker. And to create a little air of mystery, because anytime you travel through the Bermuda Triangle, often your vessel, your boat, your aircraft is clothed in darkness. So we do have a little bit of darkness. Well, actually, I'll do this way. Would you hold onto the coin there for me? Be very careful. And then put it right over the little glass of the Bermuda Triangle water. Brilliant. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. We'll get under there. And on the count of three, oh, drop it. Oh, thank you. Before you even get there, that was perfect. In the Bermuda Triangle, many things have vanished. People, ships,
And the coin.
and the coin. If you had any cash in your pocket, you were a person, would have vanished as well. That's kind of the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. But what's even more interesting is why people vanish. There's a lot of theories. There's theories that, well, they just get swallowed up by the water. There's theories that their compasses go awry. Now, I don't know if this will work for the entire crowd here, so you might have to take a little quick peek at this. But if you take a little look at that compass, can you guys see that little arrow through the water there? Trying to get the good angle.
No, I'm trying to get out of there.
I'll do this. Is that better?
You can
kinda
look
see
for
it?
us.
What's that? Can you see it? Okay?
You can look
No, I'm not looking. I'm trying to get out of their way.
This is why a lot of people get confused. If you can see that arrow, as things kind of fade off into the distance, you'll see the arrow trying to change direction. It's very confusing, the triangle. Very confusing. No matter which way that arrow turns, it kind of points the opposite direction. And that's why everything gets topsy-turvy, all confused. And sometimes you can go down the hatch. No, I'm just kidding. That's good.
But you're still here.
I'm still here. It's okay. The coin, however, is not. Gotta wait about 20 minutes for that.
That's all right. You're gonna have it.
And it doesn't come back, just like the Bermuda Triangle. So I'm going to talk about a couple of these little things, these little ideas, and a lot of them are really simple. That's why you'll probably notice in the announcement for the little lecture here, I got it, that I said there are no lecture notes, because a lot of these are really simple. And the real reason I'm going through a lot of this stuff is mainly because the incomparable Eugene Berger once said that to really know your routines and your magic, it's best that you teach them. So that's really what I'm doing for you guys. I hope you either can remember everything I'm about to tell you or take some notes. If you have any ideas or suggestions or feedback, let me know as well, because I really would like to improve a lot of different things here. But again, some very simple ideas. I'll go through a couple of them right now. First of all, this little gag is probably known to a lot of people. These little stretchy, crunchy things here. They've been sold as the Bone Cruncher. You can get them from magic shops. They're normally like $5-6 or so. You get a really good sound on those. These are just really cheap ones. You just put them in your hand. You kind of do that, you get a little bit of a nice crunch. Sounds even better close up in a room like this. I don't know if it translates, but close up, this is great. So when I walk up to a group, this is sometimes I like to do, I just palm it in my hand. You do have to be wearing these types of shoes that have absolutely no way to really hold your foot in there. So there's no laces, there's no latches, nothing like that. And this is just really simple. The reason this came about was because in high school we had a contest called the Lip Sync, where students would lip sync to a lot of different songs. One year, my friends and I did the Monster Mash. And my friend, who is not a magician, was the zombie in the Monster Mash. Zombies were all having fun, that was the line. And he looked like a zombie, but he just didn't have any zombie characteristics. So he said, you gotta do something zombie-like. So he goes, oh, okay, and he did this. And I went, oh my God, that looks awful, which is great. If you can't see, that's basically it. Yeah. If you do it in the proper fashion, I know it's kind of weird the way I'll try to go as far back as I can so you guys see. But if you kind of make up a little bit of, oh yeah, my ankle's been hurting and things like that, the real key to this is you want to go this way. So it looks like you get a nice snap. Combine it with this, you get a good, right? Which is good. The way to enhance the illusion, I'm a little bit of a mime as well. I don't know if Craig mentioned that, but I took a lot of mime and movement courses. That's what I specialized in college. So this is good. This is better. This goes this way, your body goes this way. So you have kind of a lean this way. It looks like a more severe break, basically. So you want to kind of get this action, so you go a little bit left, you do the step, and it's really just, I'm stepping straight down, the shoe's just facing that way. So there's no real contortion involved. And you want to lean this way, at the same time, do that. You get a very cool, audible little illusion that you kind of snapped your ankle. Oh, I have a weak ankle, I twisted my ankle. You do that sort of a thing. And then the real key of this is the drag. This is the whole zombie thing that my friend did. Now, when he did this on stage, there was no sound.
Wouldn't work.
But as soon as the audience saw his foot go sideways, there was an audible, oh! They really thought he snapped something because we were all into it. So boom, you can do that. And the drag is really what sells it. Just looks awful. And then you can click back. But it really gets everybody's attention, especially close up with these little things. You can do a lot of things with this simple little gimmick. You can go up to friends, snap their neck. It's the same sort of thing as the old snapping finger thing on the fingers. So these are a lot of fun to play with. And that's just a cool idea. If you want to grab somebody's attention, the scream is what really does it. So, if you go up to a group and basically scream at them, you got their attention. It's pretty good. So that's what I call Breaking Bad. Any questions or thoughts on that? Oh, nice. All right, this, if you didn't know, may I borrow that card one more time, just kind of quickly go through this.
Oh, I scrunched it up.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, it's okay.
Your treat.
Hold on, no, I got it. No, I was going to say, I can just make another one.
Oh, you got it.
You got one. Oh, we scrunched it. You liar.
You restored it. He's a good magician.
Ta-da, you want to jump up? So this is just an application. Honestly, I think this is the most customizable magic trick ever. Nick Trost's 8-card brainwave. Does anybody not know Nick Trost's 8-card brainwave? Oh, good. Okay, thank God. Thought we'd have to spend forever. So this is cool. I've used this for everything. Everything from customized magic shows to trade shows, festival events. You can customize this for anything. For Halloween, I like to do trick and treat all the way through. You could also do live or die, which is even a creepier way to go on this. And one of my favorites, does anybody know the comedian Eddie Izzard? Oh, good. He has a great bit in one of his stand-up comedy specials where he talks about cake or death. Right? And he's how do I put this? He's a English trans cross-dressing comedian. Very funny guy, though. And the whole bit is he just asks people cake or death. And I just thought that'd be great to do with this. What do you get, cake or death? That's a little cool, little funny idea. But think about all the other holidays and different things you can incorporate with this. For the holidays, Christmas, you could do naughty and nice. That's a really great one. For Valentine's Day, you could do he loves me not. So there's a lot of cool little applications to this. If you don't know Nick Trost's 8-card brainwave and you're really curious, just ask me right afterwards. I don't want to take up too much time really talking about it. Basically, they're in opposite order. So trick, treat, all the way through, trick, treat. And you're basically doing what's called the Ulrum subtlety, which is Marlowe backwards. Marlowe kind of, well, it said Marlowe came up with this. Is that true, Phil? Do you know? Okay. So yeah, you're basically just showing whatever cards that they did not choose. This one's a trick card. These are treats. You push off the opposite card. That's nice. So treat. Close up, this plays awesome because you can give people a chance to change their mind. It looks like they have all treats, and they get a nice trick, and it gives you a great opportunity to pass out your business card as well. So when I do an event, this past holiday, not holiday, where was I? It was last year I did the trick of the naughty or nice. I passed out so many business cards just with this one trick. So it's a good little opener. It's a fun bit. So that's kind of cool to use it. Questions, thoughts on that? Cool. Thanks, guys. All right. This is a fun piece. I like to do this. This is good. When it comes to card tricks, it's pretty much, I mean, the effect that most performers use in their working situation is pick a card, I'm going to find it. That's pretty much it, unless you do, let's say, ambitious card that keeps rising to the top, or some variant thereof, card to impossible location. This is what I call third eye. It's a fun piece to do around the holidays, around the Halloween season rather, but this is really fun. This is cool. So it gives you a cool little presentation to play around with, because when it comes to pick a card tricks, really it's about presentation. I mean, anybody can go pick a card and that's your card, but there's nothing to it. So this gives you a fun little thing to play with. You get to introduce the concept of the third eye. Some people are really into that, and they'll go along with you and go, oh yeah, the third eye, and you can see things and see the future, so that's always fun. And as soon as you bring this guy out and you go, oh, that's my third eye, there's a bit of a comic element to it. Just fun. These are really easy to get, by the way. Go to any craft store, Michael's, Walmart, dollar stores, they normally have little beads like this. It has a little sticker on the back of it of the two of clubs, so we're going to be forcing the two of clubs. Really simple. Inside here now, this is kind of inspired by two effects. One is Tony Clark's ion effect, which if you're familiar, it's basically almost the same trick, just an entirely different methodology. He has the eye here, and I think there's a magnet in the thing, and it picks this up and it jumps to the, anyway. So it's basically that effect, but it's one of Sankey's ideas, one of Sankey's methods, Jay Sankey. So in Sankey's idea, he had a button, a little shirt button, sewn onto the back of a playing card, actually sewn onto the card. So it was a really cool giveaway too. And then he would just reach into his pocket, pull out some change, and a little button. And then he would make the button disappear, and it jumps into the pack, and it's attached to the card. So this eye, which nobody really knows is attached to the card, but it's not glued there, it's actually stuck in place with some blue tack, which gives you the ability to change your force card if you wanted to. Plus, if you glue this to a playing card, it warps the card, so don't do that. So you can blue tack that to any card. I just use the two of clubs because that's what the force card is here. But you could write on the back of this eyeball any force card and force any card you like. And the handling of this is very simple because it's already stuck there. You take out the eye, you give that to somebody. So we'll just put that on the chair for a moment. You shuffle up the cards a little bit. Boom, 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 boom. And all I'm doing is a milk shuffle. If you're not familiar, basically I'm holding the back card in place and just shuffling the cards around it. So there's no real massive technical skill there. It's just holding that back card back and shuffling. And then anytime I want, you're going to do what's called the kick cut force, which is very simple. You're going to emulate going down the pack, cutting it, and shifting one card up. However, what you really do is kick cut the cards. If you don't know a kick cut, that's the kick cut. You just kick a portion of the pack over. So as you run your thumb down the end here, somebody calls out stop, they say stop, you kick over the top portion, grab that, and that's where your eyeball is. So really, you're just shifting up your eyeball card. You let them look, and the funny bit is when you bring it over to the eye, you let the eye see, boom, it goes back inside the case. Now, if you have in a situation where you can leave this on the table, that's great, but that normally happens if you have a new pack of cards, it kind of shifts. So I try to just shove it back inside the case. It doesn't have to be super pretty, it just has to be basically inside the case so they don't see that situation quite yet. There's a lot of different ways to handle the eye part too. This is kind of fun, just sticking it to your forehead, boom. Normally, natural moisture and water pressure and air pressure holds it there, depending on the humidity and how sticky your forehead is. So you take a few moments and you start, this is the part you get to play, you get to act, which is my favorite part. Having a theater background, you can really play with people. You can get into their face, you can do this sort of thing and get the eye, freak some people out. So, you start to name different things. Oh, it's a black card. It's not a spade, it's not pointed, oh, it's a club. But you clean, you just can't get that number, right? You just can't get the number. So that's when I like to take this off and go, I'm gonna have to take a closer look. Which is kind of a weird thing to say. So all I do is a simple little French drop sort of vanish, sprinkle over the cards, and it looks like it disappears. You don't have to do anything fancy. If you wanted to, you could do one of these nice little spider grit vanish things and make it go into the case. It's not necessary. Just a simple little French drop. And then this is my favorite part, because they're expecting something, and they hear that little rattle. I don't know if you can quite hear it, but they hear that little rattle in there, which is a nice audible cue that something has happened. But they don't know. You're building the anticipation. They don't know quite what happened yet. You remove the cards, put them down. Normally they shift by themselves, which is kind of a cool impromptu haunted pack effect. But you remove that one. You very carefully spin that card around, because remember the eye is supposed to be loose. And you're basically going to do now a shuttle pass, which if you're not familiar, you're just going to turn the card over eyeball stuck to it, so that's not going anywhere. And you turn this hand palm up and show the eye. So put them together, and you get a nice dumping action. It looks like you dump the eyeball off the card. And at the same time, you reveal the card. So you go, oh, what was the, you're holding it like this so you don't actually drop the eyeball. I'm doing this for your benefit so you can see. But they name a card, 2 of clubs, boom, you dump it off, boom, 2 of clubs. And you do a nice little pose. Take a moment, pause, let them appreciate that. And then you hit them with the kicker of the eyeball. Oh, the eyeball really did know the entire time. It's my third eye, I can see into the future. And then you put this into somebody's face and they go, oh, wow, 2 of clubs. For those in the back, you might not be able to see that very well, but there's a little 2 of clubs there. Here's another cool bonus idea though. You can do all this part, but before you even reveal the eye on the card, you bring out your third eye, you do all this stuff. Oh, I'm getting the color, the suit, but I can't get the number. You take the eye off, and you get just a random spectator or your friend, and you hold the eye up in front of their eyes, and you slowly put it to their forehead so they can see the 2 of clubs. So it kind of makes them an instant stooge for you, which is great. So this is kind of fun. I always like the idea of transferring the power, the magic, to somebody else. So I'm not necessarily the guy that always does the magic, but the magic kind of happens around me. It can even be transferred to other people. So when I bring this up to their eye, I go, in a moment you're going to get a picture of a card in your mind, so you do that whole little ruse, and they're just seeing it come at them, so they're going to say, assuming they have good eyesight. So pick somebody who either is wearing glasses. If they're wearing glasses, that's a good sign. Because if you start kind of far away from them and moving close, whether they're nearsighted or farsighted, they're probably going to see what that card is. You touch it to their forehead, you go, you got the color right, it's black, it's a club, but what's the number? They'll go, 2. And you go, is it 2 to 2? And they're freaking out, they love it. And you go, I don't know, I have to double check, let me take a closer look. And again, goes back inside the pack, and you're back to where you started, and you don't even have to do the extra kicker bit of turning this around. You don't have to show them the gaff. So that's a cool little piece, a little bonus there, where you can involve somebody else in the routine, makes it play a lot bigger. So this is called Third Eye. Thoughts and questions? All right. This is cool. This is one I'm actually, like I said, I have some new things I'm playing with, and I have some old things I've been doing for a while. This is kind of a relatively new thing. It's out of my, where did I put it? Oh, here it is. This is called Karen's Auntie, or Auntie, depending on how you want to say it. Yes, there they are. A couple of poker chips. There's actually 3 in play. Had to do a little switch, which was actually a little bit muddy. Not the way I really wanted to do it, but I'll explain here in just a second. We'll do that. Perfect. So 2 of these chips, rather, have a force card on it. Could be anything. You could get your own poker chips, make up your own. I use the whiteout pen. So that's a question I get quite a bit. What do you use to do? People think, oh, paint, acrylic. No. Whiteout pen. That'll work the best. It's kind of like a mini slate routine in your pocket. So you don't have to carry around the big bulky slates. And it's a lot of fun. I really like the visual of putting these in your eyes, too. It's something a little bit creepy and not quite settling about that. So we have a 6 of hearts. That's my force card. One of those, in this case, the heart, that goes into the pocket. And then you come out with these guys here, and just kind of don't overprove this point. I remember in Mark Wilson there was a great I forget what it was. It was a card routine, I think, but in it he showed you turn over all these boards, and it looks like you're showing both sides, but there was a lot of this, and turn this one and flip back, and it just seemed like it was a little bit too much. So this is kind of based. I started with that idea, and I went, too much. Subtlety is the key here. So keep it easy. I just bring them out and I do this. I can show a little bit on this side. They don't see anything. I can give them a little spin, but the whole sell on this